Hi, my name is Stephanie, and welcome to the Reader Chronicles. Hello everyone, today I'm going to be telling you all the books that I read in the months of June and July. I did do a wrap up for the month of June because I was feeling really slumpy that month, and then that kind of continued on throughout July. It happens to the best of us. I've noticed that a lot of other booktubers have been feeling the same way. I don't know if maybe it's just the summer heat, but I feel like once fall comes around, everyone's going to start reading like crazy because those are the perfect conditions to read. So the first week of June was the TBR Takedown Readathon, and the first book I read was part of the Remember Me bundle set by Christopher Pike. Remember Me is the first book, and I read that a couple of years ago, and for the readathon I read The Return. So Remember Me is about a girl named Sherry Cooper. She gets murdered at her own birthday party, and then you follow her ghost as she tries to figure out who kills her. It was actually a really good story. I remember being obsessed with it, and even till this day I still think about it from time to time. So in the beginning of The Return, you see a girl named Jean Rodriguez. She doesn't really want to live anymore. She doesn't want to commit suicide, but she pretty much wants to give up. And then we have Sherry, and she becomes something known as a wanderer, which is kind of like a ghost taking over for someone who doesn't want to really live anymore. So she gets inserted into Jean's body, and then you kind of watch her as she tries to figure out who she is as Jean and who she was as Sherry, and then merging together. It was a little weird. It was a little weird. If you were into the whole new age thing, then you would probably like the series. I did enjoy The Return. I thought that it was a pretty good story. It was really quick to get through, and I thought that it was a pretty good start for the readathon. The second thing I read during the readathon was Saga Volume 4. I have no complaints about this series. As usual, the artwork was amazing. I love the story. I love watching the characters grow, and I really cannot wait for Volume 5 to come out. The third book is kind of where I hit my troubles. This is where the problems began. This is why I got into a slump. And the reason I got into this hardcore slump was because I read Magonia by Maria Dahvana Headley. It just wasn't for me. It honestly was not for me. I didn't like the story at all. I know some people didn't even finish it, like Trina from Between Chapters, she didn't finish it at all. It had so much potential, it just didn't deliver. It didn't. There was too many things going on. It follows a girl named Aza, and Aza is extremely sick. Her skin is translucent, her lips are blue, she has problems breathing. She honestly shouldn't be alive. She is stuffed to the brim with different kinds of drugs and medicines keeping her alive, and in class one day she sees a ship in the sky calling out her name. Of course, people just chalk it up to the medicine and drugs and ignore it. Then she continues to feel as if the sky is calling her name. She has some weird interactions with birds, and so she dies, which isn't a spoiler. It happens in the beginning, and it has to happen for the rest of the story to happen. And she leaves her human skins behind and kind of transforms into this bird-like species. And I've heard a lot of people say that she's now in a whole nother world. No, that's not the case. She's still on planet Earth, but it's kind of like a different dimension. So let's say us as normal humans, we're looking up at the sky, all we see is clouds, maybe a plane, that's about it. But if you were part of their species, then you would see a whole bunch of sky ships up in the sky. You would see whale clouds, you would see storm sharks. That was exciting. That I really loved. Just not everything else. There were just too many things happening. I wasn't really a fan of the non-uniform whimsical writing. There was a lot of that going on. I wasn't a fan of how everyone had to be unique and everyone had to be quirky. Like her best friend, for instance. Her best friend is extremely smart, has a bunch of businesses going on, shouldn't really be in school, but is also extremely nerdy, yet is super handsome, and also has OCD. Too many things going on. It's just too many things going on. It also has a dual perspective. It follows Aza and it follows Jason, and after I hit maybe a third of the way in, once Jason's part came in, those were the only parts I really wanted to read. I didn't really care about Aza's perspective whatsoever. There's just too many things. I just wasn't feeling it. I just really wasn't, and it sucks because of the potential. It just really sucks. It sucks. And that just comes to show you cannot judge a book by its beautiful cover. So when I was done with that, I kind of took a couple of days to recuperate. I wasn't in the mood to read. I wasn't whatsoever. I tried picking up Sense and Sensibility, which I was supposed to read. I only got through a couple more chapters and I put it back down. I'm sorry, Jane Austen, I wasn't feeling it. Then I picked up Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, and because I was in a slump, I only read a couple of chapters, and I didn't want that slump to affect how I felt about the book as I was reading it, so I put it back down. I gave it a while before I picked it back up, and in the meantime, I picked up Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. And I did like the story, I actually really did. It kept me guessing the entire time, which is something I appreciate. It was pretty riveting. I mean, it's like your normal dystopian story. I don't have no complaints, however, because I do love me some dystopian. There was a lot of italicized words. There was a lot. Anyone who's read this, please go back to the book and you will see pretty much every other sentence or every other paragraph, something was italicized. And when I think of italicized words, I think of emphasis, you know? Let me just turn to a random page. So here we got just a random paragraph. They didn't do anything. I wish this was their fault. I wish I could blame this on someone. I look over Clorin's head, meaning Kill's eyes. Something realizes in him and he nods, communicating without words. I don't have to lie about this. Honestly, there was one paragraph and about half of it was italicized words. I guess it's me just nitpicking at it. I'm nitpicking. I was also very confused in the beginning, however, because in the beginning she says she's in a village. And when I was thinking village, I was thinking Feyre's village from A Court of Thorns and Roses. That's what I had in my head. But then she brought up that there is electronics and technology, and I was like, what? Okay. And then I thought about Katniss and her living in District 13, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And again, that's just me nitpicking. I was a little bit confused. I wish she kind of described the setting a little bit more, described how things worked a little bit more, kind of worked on that imagery going on, and not the italicized words. I waited a few more days, maybe a week or so, before I picked up another book, and then I picked up Throne of Glass once again. I loved it, of course. I love Sarah J Maas. I love her writing. I love her world and her characters and all that great stuff. I just didn't like it as much as A Court of Thorns and Roses. That's just my feeling. They're both the first books in the series, so I guess we'll see how I feel after I read the second and third and fourth book in the series. But then again, 1-to-1, I'm already liking A Court of Thorns and Roses more. After reading Throne of Glass, I was getting back into the swing of things. I was getting into reading again, and I picked up Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This was part of the book club that I'm in. I was supposed to read the entire series. Didn't happen whatsoever, but I did read this one. And I loved it. I love Damon. I love Kat. Damon's an alien. Kat's a book blogger. What more could you want? It was honestly amazing. I really freaking loved it. It was so captivating. It's so easy to read also, and you really do fall in love with Damon Black. You really do. Then I picked up Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I didn't finish it in the month of June. I started it in June, and I still loved it. I finished it in July. I'm not gonna lie, it did make me cry a couple of times. I wanted to throw the book at the wall a few other times, but the overall grade would be A-. A- for the times I wanted to throw it at the wall. I decided to read Harry Potter for the first time. Yep, that's it. Reading Harry Potter for the first time, and I'm loving it. And I flew through the first 3 books. I would have flown through more, but those were the only books that I had. I was borrowing them from my sister. I had to give them back. And the first one I read was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Of course, the US edition is the Sorcerer's Stone, but I think that the Philosopher's Stone is a much better title. It's the original title. I don't know why Americans have to change things. A few chapters in, I was already crying. I got so emotional reading the series because I had already watched the movies. I already know what's going to happen. The books are so much better. They really are. They show you things that never happen in the movies. There's so many things. Like, I was crying for Harry because the Dursleys are so much meaner to him in the books than they are in the movies. It's just so good. It's so freaking good. Then of course I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Still amazing. Still super good. After that, I read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Do I have to even say it? And that's where I stopped reading because I didn't have any more of the books. I wanted more. My sister had the rest. And I didn't want to go buy them because I wanted to get like the box set that has the Hogwarts castle on the spines. So I was trying to resist from buying them, but I have to know what happens next. I can't just wait. She moved to Florida and I'm seriously doubting that she was going to ship me the books anytime soon. So I went ahead and I bought the next 3 books. I have Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I do not have the last one. They did not have it at that used bookstore. And I am about a third of the way through in the 4th book. I have stopped reading it just so I could participate in the BookTube-a-thon, read-a-thon. But after that, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. But yeah, that's it. Those are all the books I read in the month of June and July. Sorry if I said some negative things about some books that you yourself enjoy. Again, this is just my opinion, and your opinion may differ, and that's totally okay. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys very soon, and until then, I'll see you guys later.